Hello and welcome to Pet Pals. If you're looking for a companion to help keep you warm with these freezing, frigid winter nights, we have some great pets to introduce you to today that are going to help you be nice and toasty and cozy through until the weather warms up a bit. I'm Bethany Davidson, the humane educator here, and volunteer Tammy Benson is our animal wrangler again. Our first guest is Ozzy, and at 74 pounds, he will definitely take up a big portion of your bed and keep it nice and cozy for you. He is only 8 months old. He is a beautiful blue pit bull mix. So he will grow a little bit more. He'll definitely fill out more. He may or may not get a little bit longer, taller. And because he is under a year old, he will be adopted through our puppy process, which means that we'll take up to 4 applications for him and choose the best fit for the dog. Puppies are adopted through for a fee of $150. Puppies are a little bit more of a responsibility. They require a little bit more care here from us. So that is why they're a little bit more than an adult dog. Also, the application for our puppies is a little bit longer. It asks you questions about puppy experience, breed experience, what your plan is, because puppies, they need to be house trained. There's so many things that you need to work on with them. And if you're not willing to do that, then especially with a puppy this size, things could get a little bit uncomfortable. Ozzy also is a good dog to talk about making sure that you have the right dog for your lifestyle. So Ozzy is a large dog. He's very sweet. He's very well-mannered, especially for only being 8 months old. But his previous owners lived in an apartment, and they said that he was too much to handle in an apartment. So you want to make sure that when you're thinking about the type of pet that you want to have, that it's going to work well for, your living situation. Maybe a smaller dog would be a better fit for someone who lives in an apartment, or a cat, those types of things, because he does have a lot of energy. He needs to get out a little bit more. He might not have as much space to run around, for example, when it's cold like this in an apartment. Hounds also not always great apartment dogs because they like to bark and bay. They make a lot of noise that your neighbors might not be thrilled with. But otherwise, Ozzy here is a fantastic dog if he's the right dog for your lifestyle. If you're interested in Ozzy, you can visit him here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center, 1832 Rosemont Avenue. We talked earlier with Ozzy about picking a dog that's appropriate maybe if you live in an apartment. And Loki might be a better fit if you have a small home, you don't have a yard, or you live in an apartment, because he's a year old and this is about as big as he's gonna get. He is a Dachshund mix. I'm not sure what else he's mixed with here. But he is, more of the small size. We often don't get a lot of dogs that are small. Most of our dogs are on the larger size. But right now we have several, including a dog that Loki previously lived with named Chickadee. He is a puppy on the adoption floor who's quickly filling up with applications. So if you're not really into dealing with puppies and house training and all of those things, then maybe Loki is going to be a better fit for you. He is color-coded yellow, which means he's a little bit on the shy, reserved side. And the reason that Loki and Chickadee both made their way here to the shelter is because their family, there's a divorce in the family and they're moving, and so this seemed to be the best option for that family. According to our behavior assessment, Loki does keep his kennel clean, which is always something that people are excited to hear. He's friendly and calm in his kennel. He reacts favorably to other dogs. Again, he lived with a much younger dog in his previous home. He is a little cautious and fearful, especially when you're trying to get him out of his kennel. And then when you're walking him, he does lag behind. He's a little nervous and shy. So confidence building exercises would be great. Dog training is a great way to build confidence for a dog. Just exposing him to lots of different things so that he learns that things aren't they're not things that he needs to be afraid of, and so on. He willingly lets go of objects, no issues with food guarding. Apparently he also loves a good tennis ball. So there's a lot of wonderful things about Loki. and he just needs someone who's going to come in and see all of those great qualities and want to make him part of their family. Because he's an adult dog at 1 year old, he would be adopted for our standard adoption fee, which is $92.50. We'll make sure he's neutered, he gets all his vaccinations up to date, flea and tick preventative, microchipping, county licensing, all that stuff will be taken care of for that fee. If you're interested in Loki, the first step is going to be to pop in here to Animal Control and visit with him. This beautiful girl is Adele, and as you can see, she enjoys a good tennis ball as much as any lab does. She is about 8 to 9 months old. She is a black lab mix, and she was recently returned to the shelter after being adopted for less than a month. And the reason that she was returned is that they said she was jumpy, she was a little too aggressive in her play, and several other things. But the reality is that Adele is a puppy, and she does need someone who's willing to train her and work with her. Less than a month's time is not enough time to teach her all the things that she needs to be taught. She has a lot of potential. She does jump up on people, and she does love to play, but she is typically very gentle in how she jumps up. She takes treats gently. She already has some basics down like sit. She is just a goofy puppy, and she is not a small dog at 52 pounds. So you just have to be prepared for all that is a high energy, larger dog when you're coming in to adopt. Yes, everybody likes the idea of a lab, and she is a beautiful dog, but is she, again, the right fit for your home, your lifestyle? Our behavior assessment of her, we have her listed as going to a home with older children, 13 and up, because Adele is very intense about her food. She loves to eat, don't we all? She will gulp her food. She'll stick her foot in the bowl so you can't take it away. She never growls or snaps, but that's something that we want to make sure that we're protecting children against in case they did, inadvertently stick their hand in there. We don't want Adele to react in any type of negative way. She does keep her kennel fairly clean. Even as a puppy, she's very friendly. She reacts favorably to other dogs. She's easy to obtain. She can pull, and she can also be nervous around certain things like other dogs barking. And she does do the jumping, so she just needs a little work on polite leash walking, how to greet people. Just turning your back on her every time she jumps up is a great way to show her that that's not okay. When she has all her feet on the floor, when she's sitting, then you can reward her with your love and your attention. She likes to be petted. She willingly lets go of objects. She, again, is just a puppy who needs training. She's very excited, very friendly. So just someone who's committed to giving her the training and the time and attention that she requires is going to be really important when we're looking for Adele's next adopter. This bundle of energy is MacGyver, and he is another one of our puppies on the floor. He is a 5 to 6 month old red and white hound mix, and he is your typical puppy, but when you're looking at him, you will notice that he does have a little shaved part on his right side by his armpit, and he's got an incision there that's still healing. And he came in with a deep cut there. So we sent him to the vet, and the vet cleaned it out and sutured it up, and he spent a little time in foster care recovering. And now that he is well on his way to a full recovery, he's on our adoption floor looking for a forever home. And even though he's an adorable little puppy, we do have some things that we want adopters, some requirements we'd like them to meet. MacGyver is a little bit on the nervous side. He doesn't really like loud noises, certain things in his kennel, the way that it opens, closes, he's not a fan of those things. So we're looking for children that are 10 and up for MacGyver, just so that they can understand that he can startle easily, he can be nervous. We want to respect his space so that he doesn't feel fearful. We don't want him to react out of fear and maybe hurt someone. We don't want anyone to hurt him. We don't want his living situation to be an uncomfortable one where people aren't understanding that he's afraid of those types of noises. just taking things a little bit slower with him is going to be important. He again is a puppy, so he'll be adopted for that $150 fee. We'll take up to 4 applications for him. He is a super sweet guy. I mean, he did spend time in a foster home, so he does know what it's like. You know, he seemed to have done really well there while he was recovering. As you can see, he hasn't stopped wiggling and moving around since he's been here. He does seem to think that he's a bit of a lap dog, although he's needed some help getting up there on the lap. And he's just a really sweet guy that the volunteers have quickly fallen in love with. But you do want to make sure that you're respecting you know, his personality traits and the things that he might be fearful of. The last dog that we have for you today is Angel. She is a returning guest, but she's still in need of a forever home, so we're going to spotlight her one more time. You know, people often ask, do you have favorite dogs? And they think that people will say, no, we don't have favorite animals here at the shelter. Totally not true. We all do, and Angel is definitely my favorite dog. She is a big girl, but she has lost about 20 pounds since she's been with us. Last weigh-in, she was about 97 pounds. She started in at about 114. So she's steadily and at the correct pace for her losing weight. She should be a 70 to 80 pound dog. So she has come quite a long way. And a lot of people get cranky on their diets, but Angel's not feeling too upset about it. In fact, each time she loses a little bit of weight, she becomes more herself. She has a very big personality, and now that she's lost 20 pounds, she's feeling a lot better, so she's more active. She's just showing her truest version of herself. And her personality is one that's very playful, very affectionate. She bonds very quickly to people. I went away for about a week, and when I came back, she was so excited to see me, probably more excited than some humans that I know. She was dancing and jumping up, and you could see the big smile on her face, and the tail was going, and the whole body wiggle. She just really bonds to people. And you know, she does have some medical issues. As a 5-year-old dog, she is a senior dog. So, and because of her weight, she does have some arthritis. She has some issues with her joints. So all things that you might want to take into consideration. You really want to make sure you read through the medical profile thoroughly before taking on any dog, but you really want to make sure you're prepared for things that she might need down the line. She loves to cuddle. She wants to be like right in your face because she definitely loves people. She does enjoy going out and walking and being outside, but because of, again, her arthritis and her joints, you want to limit those walks a little bit. We hope that you enjoyed meeting some of our adoptable dogs today. After the break, we're going to introduce you to a bunch of the felines that are looking for forever homes here at Frederick County Animal Control as well.
The Frederick County Sheriff's Office now offers fingerprinting services 3 days per week, from Tuesday through Thursday. Our goal is to make it more convenient for citizens to have fingerprints taken for employment, licenses, permits, and other important issues like adoption and child care services. The Sheriff's Office will continue to accept credit and debit cards, checks, and money orders as payment for fingerprint fees. Cash is not accepted. For more information, contact the Fingerprint Information Line at 301-600-4058.
Thinking about traveling out of the country this summer? As we get closer to peak vacation time, the race to get a passport is on. Now there's a new way to get your passport locally. Frederick County Public Libraries opened a new passport acceptance facility in the Sieber Arts Public Library in downtown Frederick. Located at 110 East Patrick Street, the office will accept passport applications on behalf of the U.S. Department of State. While tending to your application, you can also get your passport photo taken in the new library office. No appointments are necessary as the service is on a first-come, first-served basis. The office is open Tuesday through Sunday at varying hours. For more information, visit travel.state.gov, fcpl.org, or call the library at 301-600-1630.
Welcome back. Our first cat is sure to be one that's going to want to cuddle up on your lap, sleep with you at night, which is going to be a great thing given how cold it's been lately. This is Knox, and he is approximately 1 year old. Even though he's kind of a petite guy at 6 pounds 7 ounces, he is incredibly affectionate. He is one of the many strays that we have right now, one of the many strays that are going to be on the show today. So we're still learning about him, but based on our interactions, we've color-coded him as blue, which means he is he adjusts very easily to change. He enjoys interacting with people. As soon as I picked him up, first time I've interacted with him, right out of the cage, let me pick him up, no problems, purring, nuzzling. He came out of the carrier onto Tammy's lap, perfectly happy. All his body language is good. He's, leaning into pets and just a very confident little guy. He does seem to have that forever kitten thing about him. So, you get the great aspects of having an adult cat who's more set in their personality, not as rambunctious and crazy, but still has that adorable little kitten face. He is a medium-haired cat, so he will require probably more grooming than a short-haired cat, just to make sure that he's not getting matted and things like that. Those mats can be very painful for any animal. And then also, as he's grooming himself, any of those stray hairs that are coming out, he's going to be ingesting those. So the more you brush him and pull out those stray hairs in the brush, the less likely he's going to have issues with hairballs and things of that nature. But he is just an adorable, sweet little guy who's looking for a forever home. He will probably go very quickly just because he is incredibly handsome and incredibly sweet. So if you're interested in Knox, you want to stop in as quickly as possible. There are other long-haired black cats on the floor right now as well. A bigger guy is Einstein. He's kind of like the extra large version of Knox. So we do have some other animals that are similar in appearance if that's what you're looking for. If you wanted to see what the status is for Knox before making the trip into the shelter, you can always give us a call. The number here at the shelter is 301-600-1546, and Knox and all of our adult cats and kittens will be adopted for that $97.50 adoption fee. This is Zoe, and again, a stray. It seems hard to believe that cats like Zoe and Knox will be out as strays. They're super affectionate. They are loving life as lap cats. So it's hard to believe that no one's out looking for them. But whatever brought them here, they're now looking for forever homes, and they're going to make great additions to any family. Zoe is a beautiful gray and white domestic short hair, and again, we're still figuring things out about Zoe. She's only been here in the shelter since the 27th of January. So one of the things that immediately I've noticed about her, even before she was on the adoption floor, is that she was very social, very outgoing, comes right to the front of the cage, asks for attention, is vocal about it, not afraid to say, hey, don't forget about me, I'm over here. And then once she made her way onto the adoption floor, I've seen her with several volunteers curled right up on their lap, perfectly content to soak up all the attention that they were willing to give her. And she does have a little bit of a sassy streak to her too, I think. When I went to put her in the carrier, she was definitely letting me know that she was not a fan of that. And she wasn't a fan of at least a couple of the cats that she saw on the adoption floor today. So integrating her with other pets might be a slower process. It could have just been that she didn't like Patch, or it could be that she might prefer to be an only cat. Time will tell, because as I mentioned earlier, we are still getting to know her personality. But once she came out here, she settled in on Tammy's lap pretty nicely. There's, different noise from the fan of the heater going off and people opening doors, and she doesn't seem to be overly concerned with any of those noises, just kind of taking it all in. You can definitely tell that she's looking for something to get into. So she's definitely going to have a big personality in whatever home she goes into. So at 1 to 2 years old, she would be adopted for that $97.50 adoption fee. She's already spayed, but we'll make sure she gets current on all her rabies vaccinations, distemper. We're going to make sure she's dewormed. She gets flea and tick preventative. She will be microchipped. So we're going to get her up to where she needs to be on her veterinary care, and then hopefully send her out to a loving home. If you want to be that loving home, the first step is going to be to stop in and visit with her. We are open to the public 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Sometimes the cats that have things that make them less perfect get overlooked, but there's definitely no reason to take a little hair loss or anything like that as a reason why you shouldn't make a cat part of your family. When you are looking at Flo, you might notice that she has definite hair loss on certain places of her body, and that's because she came in with an allergy and a skin infection. So a lot of cats are actually allergic to fleas, and when they get infested and bitten by those fleas, their body's reaction is number one, for the hair to fall out, but then also it's very itchy and uncomfortable. So then they start to overgroom those areas, which can also lead to that hair loss. We see that here all the time. In fact, one of our cats that was adopted in the last year, Mama, had something very similar, and now we got a great update from her new family. They showed us videos of her. She is, all of her hair is grown back. She's very fluffy, and her fur is just gorgeous, and she's full of energy and spunk. So it does just take a little bit of time. So Flo will eventually get there as well. You just have to be patient and see her personality and her beautiful green eyes, and beyond the fact that, she's missing some fur on her belly and her neck and her tail and things like that, because all of that stuff should in time grow back. But even if it doesn't, she's still going to be a great companion and member of the family. She too was a stray, so we're still again figuring things out about her personality. She loves her cat bed. She just is kind of on the quieter side. She likes to curl up in her little bed and snooze the day away, and who can really blame her, because she fits into it so perfectly. It's nice and warm, and it's freezing outside. She does have those big, beautiful green eyes that really stand out, and that adorable little pink nose, which I'm partial to. And she does seem to be on the quieter side, but when she's unhappy, she seems to let you know a little bit. Not a fan of the cat carrier, as most are not thrilled with that. But if you want to get to know more about Flo, you're going to have to stop in and visit with her. You can talk to the volunteers. A lot of our volunteers are able to spend more time with these animals as individuals than we as staff are able to do. So you can always talk to the volunteers on the adoption floor about the animals, especially if you're looking for something specific. They could point you in the right direction. And you can always check out the Facebook comments to see what volunteers are saying there underneath the pictures for each individual animal. Our next guest is Atlas, and he is another one of our strays. And he's about 2 to 3 years old, and he's a little bit of a bigger guy at 10 pounds. And I love he's got those big cheeks. He's just a big, cuddly guy. Again, we're still figuring things out about Atlas. One of the things that I've noticed about him in recent days is that he's not afraid to ask for attention. He was coming right up to the front of his cage when I needed to get him out. He was asking for attention, was happy to get it, and then he got put on Tammy's lap, and he was been pretty relaxed ever since. He hasn't really moved. He's been, observing the room, but just soaking up the attention that he's been getting. Letting us know again how he's feeling. So he's just a big, handsome, lovable guy, and he's quickly becoming a favorite. I've heard some people talking about him. So hopefully he'll be a favorite of one of our potential adopters soon, and he'll be making his way into a forever home. He will be neutered before he leaves. He will be up to date and current on his rabies vaccine, his distemper vaccines. He's been dewormed. He's been given flea and tick preventative. We've already gone ahead and microchipped him. We also test all of the cats and kittens for feline leukemia and feline AIDS. So you really can't beat what you're going to get for your $97.50 adoption fee when you adopt from Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. If you wanted to find more information, you can always visit our website, or if you're just curious about how the adoption process works, you can give us a call. The number here is 301-600-1546. Our last guest today is Taylor, and she is unfortunately here on her second stay. Taylor and her sister Katie were adopted last year as kittens, and to separate families, and now Taylor is back looking for a second chance at a forever home. She was returned to us because the owner said that she developed allergies. Allergies are one of the main reasons why we encourage everyone who lives in your family to come and spend time with the animals here in the shelter. We want you to pet them. We want you to spend time in the cat room, making sure that you're not going to develop any symptoms of an allergic reaction when you get home. So the more time you spend here interacting with the animals, once you get home, if you don't develop any symptoms, it's less likely that you're going to have an issue in the future. Because we don't want families to take a pet home and fall in love, and then all of a sudden there's some severe allergic reactions, and you have to be in the situation that Taylor's family is in, where unfortunately now you have to bring your pet back. And Taylor, according to the previous owner, is used to being with women and children. They say that she's playful, energetic, friendly, calm, able to handle, independent. What I've noticed is that in her cage, she is very outgoing. She has no issues coming right to the front. She asks for attention. Here, she's feeling a little unsure in this situation. A lot of the cats are uneasy about the fan that blows in here, pushing the hot air in when the heater and the air conditioner are on. So she's definitely reacting to that and not a huge fan. But if you see her in her cage, she's definitely much more confident, much more comfortable. She is constantly rubbing up against the front of her cage, asking for attention from everyone who passes by her way. So since she was adopted from us as a kitten, she's already been spayed, she's already been microchipped. We will help you re-register that information once you take ownership of Taylor. She's been updated on her vaccines, so she's ready to go. She is color-coded orange, which just means she's individually average. She's your typical cat who wants to do things when she wants to do them. And she's gonna make a great addition to any home. We want to thank you for tuning in today. We hope that you enjoyed meeting a few of our adoptable animals. There are plenty more where they came from. So if you didn't see something on today's show, you can always stop in and visit or check out any of our various websites so that you can see what's available for adoption. All of our animals will always go home already altered. They'll be current on their rabies, distemper. Dogs will get Bordetella. They'll be county licensed. They will get flea and tick preventative. They will get dewormer. They will be microchipped. And we also send you home with a free well visit to the vet. So you can't beat that for just around $100. So we hope that if you're looking to add a furry family member to your household, that you'll stop in and visit with us here at Animal Control. And we hope that you will also tune in again next week as we introduce you to 10 more adoptable pets.